Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fahril Rifa'ah and I am a postgraduate student majoring in English Education Department 2025 at UIN Alauddin Makassar. And in this opportunity, I'm going to present my understanding related to our first chapter of this course, ELT Media Design for Interfaith Dialogue. And yeah, in this opportunity, I'm going to answer questions from the first assignment. So let's dive into the first question. The first question is, what is meant by interfaith dialogue and what is its main purpose in pluralistic society? So what I understood from interfaith dialogue is communication between two or more people who come from different society. So it is aimed to provide more knowledge between from these religious. So this is communication to grow the empathy, to grow the understanding, respectful, and also the affection between religious communities. So this is not just communication and exchange the knowledge from different religions, but this activity is to grow the sense of understanding in the middle of difference. Question number 2. According to Sweetler, how does interfaith dialogue differ from debate or ordinary discussion? So, in my opinion, even though discussion and debate involves communication that involves knowledge in it, these two things have differences. For example, debate, we can see in the media such as television, there is a presidential election debate. So the aim of this debate is to make people trust to us. That's the essence of the debate actually. So there is a term of win or lose. It is debate. So this is different with dialogue. This is different with ordinary dialogue, which is ordinary discussion, which is the essence of the ordinary discussion is how people can grow together, how they can exchange their thoughts together. So there is no term of win or lose. This is not a competition. That's the difference between the dialogue and also the debate. So the debate is win or lose. There is a competition, such as in presidential debate, election debate. Vice versa in the ordinary discussion, there is no win or lose, but people can exchange the knowledge, the insight. This is in line with the Sweetler himself emphasized that discussion here is how people can willing to open their attitudes of openness and also willing to exchange the knowledge and also to grow and learn together. Question number 3. Why is interfaith dialogue considered important in education, especially in English language teaching or ELT? In my opinion, in this interfaith dialogue, especially in English language teaching, we will not only learn about English, we will not only about the structure of English like grammar, we will not only learn about pronunciation, we not only learn about phonology, but we also learn about how we grow our critical thinking, as well as we learn about how we can be respectful of each other with different religious communities. So in this educational context, for example, in English education department students like me, so I had an experiences which I attending the international event 2029 in Sasambo Generation Camp 4.0, which brought me to meet with different students from around the world in ASEAN, which I have to speak in international language. I have to speak in English. So English was become my bridge to communicate with people around the world, youth around the world. So we will discuss about the culture. So English was my bridge to express my ideas in English. So that's why I think English is that. That's why I think interfaith dialogue is really important in the realm of education, because it can help us. Beside help us in learning English, it also help us in growing our critical thinking and respectful each other. Question number 4: what is meant by religious literacy, and how does interfaith dialogue contribute to its development? In my opinion, sometimes people have a narrow view of just guessing others' religions, so they are not validate the truth or the fact of others' religions. Just giving the assumptions of other religions. This has happened to our environment, happened to our life. So religious literacy has the vital role for us to understand this problem. So that's why through interfaith dialogue, we don't just guess the fact and also the knowledge of other religions, but we can directly understand the fact from the process, the dialogue process, which is the interfaith dialogue. So there is no guessing at all, but we can know the truth, the fact of other religions by interfaith dialogue. So that's why interfaith dialogue really contribute to this development. Question number 5: what are the 4 main challenges in the interfaith communication? Briefly explain each. So in interfaith dialogue, we might found obstacles or problems in having interfaith dialogue. The first problem or challenge might be stereotype. So in the midst of current the development of science and technology, it is very easy for us to believe in people without even validating it first. So many hoax out there happen to us. It makes different stereotype happen to our life. So a wrong stereotype often occurs regarding to sensitive matters such as the discussion of religion itself. So that's therefore stereotype is one of becoming one of the obstacle in having in this life, especially when we talk about the religious different stereotype. The second problem or the second obstacles that might be happen in having interfaith dialogue is the language barrier. So we all believe, we all understand that in this world there are many languages, and even though when we talk in international, even we use English, we do all agree that we still have the language barriers. So language diversity is one of the challenges when we have the interfaith dialogue. So sometimes we explain the term, we explain the meaning of the religious concept differently. We say something to people, but people cannot understand or misinterpret something. That's why limitation of English or the barriers of language of English has becoming something problem and having interfaith dialogue. The first stereotype, the second language. The third one is culturally sensitive. So habits in life or culture sometimes become obstacle when we talk about culture communication. So we don't know the habit of some religious, we don't know the habit of some countries or community religious. These things occurs sensitivity. So cultural sensitivity is one of the obstacle when we do interfaith dialogue. And the last one is emotion or ideology. So emotion or something that usually happen when we talk about sensitive issues, when not just talking about religious, but something about anything. Emotion is always happen to our life in our communication between people. So emotion, if we cannot control the emotion, this will happen to our communication, will happen to our life. So that's why when we talk about interfaith, when we talk about the difference in religious, emotion or ideology always happen and in every corner of the discussion. So these four things sometimes happen when we talk about interfaith: stereotype, language, the sensitivity, cultural sensitivity, and the last one is emotion or ideology. Question number 6: how do language barriers affect the effectiveness of communication in interfaith dialogue? This is quite similar with the answer of question number 5, talking about how language barrier becoming obstacles when we are having the interfaith dialogue. So, in my opinion, the effectiveness of having interfaith dialogue is really correlated with how we have the language itself. So the language barriers really affect the effectiveness of interfaith dialogue. Language is the communication link between two or more people, between two or more communities, between two or more religions. So if some of them or some of us have the barriers in language, so I think some of them, others will misinterpret something that we say. That's why having the right terms of the right, the right language to explain the rituals or the theme of religious is really important to avoid the misinterpret in expressing something. But we cannot deny that even though English is becoming our connected language, some of us might be having problems in expressing the idea, expressing the ritual concept, expressing the meaning of some words. That's why language barriers becoming obstacles when we are having interfaith dialogue. Sometimes our interfaith dialogue becoming not effective because of the barriers of English. So learning English greatly or learning English well is really important to make our discussion or interfaith dialogues smoothly. Question number 7: what role does English language teaching media design play in addressing stereotypes and misconceptions in interfaith communication? In my opinion, media design in ALT plays a vital or crucial role in having interfaith dialogue process. So let's say media video, which is video is a visual and also audio. So it's the connecting between video and also audio. So this is when we having the interfaith process by video, by media video, can make people understand it more clearly, understand it more honestly, rather than just reading a textbook. So when people read the textbook, the information or the insight from it is sometimes make people misinterpret rather than watching video. So by watching video, they can hear by the audio and also see directly from the visual or the video visual. So that's why I think media such as video can minimize the misinterpret or conception or stereotype in interfaith communication. So this is really important for us to integrate the media or multimodal into the interfaith dialogue to make it more understandable, to make it conception or misinterpret. Question number 8: How can the integration of interfaith dialogue in English language teaching simultaneously improve students' language skills and intercultural competence? And provide examples. In my opinion, interfaith dialogue in ELT can develop the students, or can develop us in the field of education, especially in language. Beside that, it also grows grows the competence of the cultural itself. So because the students will not only learn about the language, but the students also will learn about the cultural at the same time. Let's say the current curriculum, which is Merdeka curriculum by Nadiem Makarim. This curriculum is grows the student with the critical thinking, and also to make the student becoming the global citizens, which is they have to talk about the global issues. Of course, they will also learn about the global culture and around the world. So the example of the method when we integrated this Merdeka curriculum is the method of PBGL, project-based learning. So the student will be given the presentation. They will present or introduce the cultural festival in Indonesia, and also at the same time they will compare with the cultural in other countries. So that's why I think in this interfaith dialogue can integrate it between learning language, especially English, with the skill of intercultural competence. Question number 9. Analyze how ELT media design can transform challenges such as cultural sensitivity issues and emotional differences into meaningful learning opportunities. Well, in this critical question number 9, I think media design in ELT can turn challenges such as sensitivity or emotional differences. But back again, media is creating and aiming to make a safe space for us to discuss rather than in the real life. So having interfaith dialogue in media and also in the real life have differences. Interfaith dialogue in media, we have the safe space than the real environment, the real life interfaith dialogue process. So for example, the student will be given the scenario. They make a mistake, cultural mistake. The mistake that the student face will not have the real consequences, will not have the direct consequences if we compare with the interfaith dialogue directly in the real life. So after having the scenario that the student make the cultural mistake, the student will be given the reflection question to find out how to find a better or more ethical way of responding that issue. So by media, the student can transform challenges such as the sensitivity or the emotional differences through media in English language teaching. So this is really helpful for us to integrate interfaith dialogue by media, because there is no real consequences for us to face than real interfaith dialogue, such as in the real life. Question number 10. To what extent are media-based approaches such as videos, role plays, and podcasts more effective than traditional methods in teaching interfaith dialogue? Provide critical reasons. In my opinion, a media-based approaches is more effective than the traditional one. So there are 3 reasons why. The first is media can be multimodal. Multimodal means that we can integrate it text, we can integrate it audio and also the picture at the same time. So it makes the different feel of learning rather than the traditional one just by reading a text. So the media can be multimodal, so we can understand the material easily rather than just reading the text. So that's the first reason. The second reason is by media we can learn the material by process, by pace. So there are stages starting from the easy one until the higher one. So it can make us easily to understand the material because this is by process. And the third reason is and this is will be the more important reason. By media, it provides a real experience for us. So if we compare with the just read the textbook, media gives us the real experience. So we can having a role play, for example. By having role play, we don't just read the theory, but we immediately express or practice to speak politely. We practice to have the interfaith dialect directly. So we learn English, and also and at the same time we also becoming the world citizens that have the high ethic and also empathy. So it is answer from the 10 question. It can be more effective to integrate media than traditional method in teaching interfaith dialect. That's all for me. Thank you so much for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.